Hello everybody, True here, your Million G Gamer, and this is a review for Remothered Tormented Fathers on the Xbox One, which released on the 26th of July 2018, and it's priced at $23.99 in the UK and $29.99 in EU and US regions. So in Remothered Tormented Fathers, you play as Rosemary, who is a nurse or doctor from a medical institution. She arrives at the home of Dr. Felton to check on his treatment, and he's really wanting to help. She's rebutted by Dr. Felton's nurse, who is looking after him in his residence. She just managed to ever gain access to the property and have an audience with Dr. Felton, and he's a very weird, sinister fella indeed, with a lot more questions raised than answers. And Rosemary doesn't really give in with her investigations. She's concerned that something is definitely up, and you get the feeling that she does have some kind of ulterior motive for being here as well. So she does sneak back into the Felton residence, and that's when things go from bad to worse. It's very hard to describe the story in any detail really, because this is a story that you need to discover yourself, and it will spoil the twists and turns of the story, of which there's many of during the game's runtime. In terms of graphics, it's a bit of a mixed bag with the graphical quality. It is a very dark game because it's meant to be like that. It's meant to create a foreboding atmosphere. The graphics are a bit dingy, they're a bit brown, there's no vibrant colours in this at all for obvious reasons. And the mansion itself is pretty much everything you would expect of a mansion. It's got dining rooms, it's got bedrooms, it's got laundry rooms, it's got wine cellar, areas such as that, and they're all very clearly depicted and done to a really great standard. But the character models are a little bit weird, especially the facial animations, especially your lead character Rosemary, who you'd think would have the most attention in terms of animations and graphical work on her. She's got many over-exaggerated body movements and facial expressions. So moving on to the sound, let's take a little listen.
I knew it! Who's bigger? Ah! Bastard! Fucking cocksucker!
This goodbye will be the chance to reach my land for me and then a whole new world.
Please, Mrs. Felton. God.
So musically, I really like the atmosphere that the musical score created. I think the composer of the tracks and the tracks that have been chosen here are actually spot on there. The game ramps up in severity towards the end as you progress through the various stages of the game, and you do feel for the situation that Rosemary is in, and the music does go to enhance that a lot. Sound effects are equally good, apart from the triggering of them. The sound of the footsteps from the stalker, who you have to avoid, it seems to have a problem in kind of echolocation. And while trying to explain that to you, I mean, like, you can be like upstairs in a room, and the stalker can be below you, and you seem to be hearing the floorboards creak, so it sounds like it is in a room right next to you, and it's not. It's very weird. I mean, I was playing the game through a top-end Turtle Beach headset, and it was very, very weird, because I literally sounded to me like the enemy was literally around the corner to me, and in fact they were an entirely floor below and not actually any threat to me whatsoever. So there was an issue with that. But the voice acting as well. The voice acting from all the NPCs is actually pretty decent, but the voice acting of the player character Rosemary again is bizarre. I get the impression, now obviously this is just my speculation, I get the impression that the voice actress didn't see the context of what was going on screen when they were delivering these lines, because the sound doesn't have, the voice delivery doesn't have that sense of urgency for the situations that Rosemary finds herself in, and it kind of does take you a little bit out of the experience. And it's just more baffling that the weakest voice performance is the actual player character themselves. But the music more than makes up for it, and it's by no means terrible, but it's just a little nitpick there that it could have been and should have been probably so much better. In terms of gameplay, you have about a 3 to 5 hour experience depending on how fast you grasp the puzzles and avoid the enemies in question. And the way the gameplay kind of plays out is you've got to go about your business solving various mysteries and puzzles, and how to get through a door that's maybe locked, or how to get object X so you can get through a door, while avoiding the various stalkers who change throughout the story for obvious story reasons, which I can't really go into without spoiling the entire experience for you. Now, you can simply walk around, but obviously that creates more noise. You can run, which is a terrible idea, because the stalker will find you from a million miles away, or you can sneak around, which is the best course of action. The stalkers do have pretty good vision, so even though you are creeping, if you are in a line of sight with them, they haven't got that notorious night blindness a lot of NPCs tend to have. They will spot you, and you do have to use a set of tactics with objects you pick up, which you can like place on the floor as a sound distraction. You can throw objects to smash on the floor to distract them in a certain direction, or you can just simply try and avoid them. Now, if you do get spotted, you do have a series of defensive objects you can find, pretty much akin to, if you remember that kind of Resident Evil remake, where if you had a defensive item and a zombie would grab you, you would kind of like stab it in the head and it would let go of you, but wouldn't actually kill it. That's a similar kind of thing with Remothered. You will smash an item on the stalker's head, and then you're able to escape and run off and hide. And that also is the third option. If you are spotted, you need to run and hide either under a cupboard, under a bed, in a cupboard itself, under a table, areas such as that. And even then, you're not 100% safe, because the AI is actually pretty smart in that regards. They won't just walk by and not spot you. If they have seen you go into that location, they will get you automatically. If they know you're around somewhere, you have like a little mini game where you have to maintain focus and composure by keeping a very slippery dot inside a circle. If you manage to do that, then the stalker carries on by. If you fail it, you will obviously get captured and have to try and escape from it in some other means there. The game is quite generous with the health. I never actually died directly from the stalker once, other than the instant death scenarios, which do feature quite heavily at certain points of the game. And genuinely, the story is very, very interesting, but to get the most out of the story and to actually fully understand it, you do have to get most of the game's collectibles, because they do add a lot of context to what is going on. If you just went through and collected the minimal amount of collectibles, you would be left scratching your head to what the hell's just happened when you get to the game's conclusion. Even though I did manage to get the game's full set of collectibles, the ending did catch me by surprise in regards to what actually has been going on and what actually happens. And I'm very interested to see what Chapter 2 actually holds here. I'm just seeing where we go from the conclusion of Chapter 1 of this proposed trilogy. And I really do hope we do get a second part of this, and the third part ultimately, to fully conclude the story, because there is something here with this kind of survival horror game, because it is quite fresh that you are basically a vulnerable character who has no chance of defeating the people who are after you, and you literally do have to hide. So like I said before, it is the world's most deadliest game of hide and seek. So my biggest bugbear with Remothered is the price point. I think they have completely missed the opportunity of this doing well. I think the price point is going to be very prohibitive to a lot of people. Unfortunately, I think a price point of $15.99 in the UK would have been an awful lot more appropriate for this title, and I would have enticed people into giving this title a chance. I think at the $23.99 price bracket, a lot of people are going to overlook this, and therefore I'm going to recommend that you do wait for this to go on a sale in order for you to purchase it, because I do think that would have been a much better price point there. But it is a game that needs to be played, and a game that if you put the time and effort in there to find the collectibles, you do find a very deep and well thought out story, which you honestly will not actually see coming. Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the review, why not hit that subscribe and the notification bell so you know when I upload new content, or even follow me on my Twitch channel, which is in the description below, where I stream each and every day.